It's 2026, baby, which marks not only another calendar year, but it's also another year that Stupi has been around. I think now it's probably been about 5 or 6 years. It's been a long time. It's a lot of things that we've done. There's a lot of things that we're going to do in this direct. It's kind of going to be a mix of both. We're going to talk about things that we've been working on and how they're in relation to things we've done in the past, because that's something that's going to be a major part of Stupid Products, is basically the past and the future kind of rolled into one, if that makes sense. So we'll get a start on this. The key thing that I wanted to reveal in this specific direct, that I guess this is kind of all the direct is for, is that we're revealing this and then we're breaking it down. But we've developed a slate of projects that will be the only projects released within either this year or the next maybe 2, 3 years, within a specific amount of time. But this slate is going to be called Phase 2. So Phase 2 is all of these projects essentially that we're releasing. So in this direct, we're going to break them down one by one, talk about what they're going to be about, what our approach is going to be. So first up on the list, on the slate, is the Stupid movie. Now this movie has been, I think it was initially a joke that I had brought up in a video maybe like 2 years ago, and I didn't really know what we could do with this. Like, it was kind of just like a joke, like I just kind of threw the concept out there. But then I really thought about what we could do with this, and now this went from being a joke to being the biggest project that we've ever made on the largest scale. So this movie is mainly about revisiting the past like 4, 5, 6 issues of Stoopy and what we've done within those films, and like a lot of the key things, like the best parts of those. We're taking those and we're kind of bringing those back and we're reflecting on those. And then it's also supposed to be like a key point, like a jump to the better projects, because after the Stupid movie, because I know that a lot of our older projects have been really poor in quality, but these next projects will be in very, very increased quality. We've gotten green screens and new camera equipment. I've done lots of editing. I think I know what I'm doing now. I think I got it down. So the Stupid movie is essentially, it's like it's the start of something new while also reflecting on something old, and it sets off something that will be the basis of Phase 2 and kind of the rest of the phases and the projects moving forward. So I'm not going to reveal a whole lot of what the Stupid movie is about. Maybe I am a little bit, but story-wise, not a whole lot. But essentially, we're going to take a handful of characters, one of which being the Voodoo Man from the worst robbery movie ever trilogy. And then we're going to take Flyboy from the original Cigar Kings from like 4 or 5 years ago, almost 5 years. So that's a really long time too, because that's a character that we haven't really done. We've tried to do a lot with, but we couldn't really figure out how to get it on the ground. But moving forward with this, we like finally have some ideas as to what we do with these characters moving forward from this film. But it's kind of like a multiverse event film where we're bringing these characters from across the different Stupid movies and kind of putting them together in this weird scenario. And the end of the worst robbery movie ever complete edition, we added an end credit scene which takes place directly before the events of the Stupid movie. And in the teaser trailer is also included um, Fenrir, who's the guy in the furry mask, is the main antagonist of this event film. So we're going to have a cast of characters, going to have the Voodoo Man, Flyboy, and one more. A really long time ago, we're going to go back a little bit here. So, a really long time ago, before Stoopy was even mine, I had a friend my childhood best friend, who owned Stoopy. He wrote a comic called Space Adventures, which you may remember that we've teased the series of Space Adventures. Space Adventures was a comic that we have been trying to turn into like an adaptation for over 4 or 5 years. It has been our longest project in development, constantly in and out. We're keep trying to think of new ways to do it. At first, it wasn't even a stupid project. It was a T Kogar Productions project, which later became Techo Studios, who we worked with on the Cigar Kings. But then Stoopy got it back, and we tried to think of some new things, take a new direction, and we didn't really know what to do, so I kind of pulled the plug on it for a little bit until we figured out what we wanted to do with the series, and then we figured, because Space Adventures is something that is on this slate, that we're going to include the character, because he's a relatively new character to like the Stoopy films, even though he's like his project has been in development much longer than any of our other projects. So he will be the character of AJ. He's like a spaceman type guy. He's going to be the protagonist of Space Adventures, but he's also going to be, his first introduction will be in the Stoopy movie. So moving forward, the Stoopy movie is going to have a major impact on the rest of these Phase 2 projects, so I can't really say a whole lot about them because the Stoopy movie directly impacts the plot of the rest of these films and how they play out and make sense, so I can't really talk about them a whole lot, but I'm going to give the briefest of my explanations. The second project in Phase 2 is Space Adventures Season 1, which, just going back to the whole thing, our longest project in development, we finally have a solid idea for what it's going to be about. The thing to note, though, is that Season 1 of Space Adventures will technically be a prequel to the Stoopy movie. We're going to show off AJ as a character in the Stoopy movie, and then the first season of Space Adventures will basically show like how he becomes kind of the way he is and how he gets to the point where we meet him in the Stoopy movie. So the Space Adventures is kind of just a prequel, but it has its own contained story that will carry over into the Stoopy movie and later other projects that we have yet to reveal as we work our way down the the phase, I guess. So Space Adventures Season 1, it's a prequel. It's probably maybe going to be co-produced by Glitchwave Studios, because their CEO Glitchy is voicing AJ in the film, which he just revealed in one of it was either his or one of Glitchwave's videos that we're collaborating on. Glitchwave Studios is also co-producing the Stoopy movie, and he's probably going to be the voice of AJ throughout the Stoopy movie and possibly Season 1. So yeah, that's Space Adventures Season 1. It's going to be its own contained thing, just a prequel. It's going to be fun. It's going to introduce a lot of ideas that will explain a lot of the things and questions kind of left unanswered by AJ in the Stoopy movie. And let's move on to the next project. Saints and the Sinful has also been in production for a pretty long time. The original name of the film is going to be like Rise of the Voodoo Man or some shit. And we even had a trailer for it that we took down a really long time ago because we kind of scrapped a lot of the ideas that were in the original concept for what this film could be. But we've talked about this film before, so I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot, other than how the Stupid movie affects this movie, but we'll kind of see how the Voodoo Man is like adjusting to a different type of like crime related life, I guess. It's supposed to be like a more of an action film, or we're gonna try our hand at a little more action. Gonna have a lot more swearing in it, a lot more violence than we try to put out. Um, yeah, it's just gonna be like a pretty solid um film, I guess. We're gonna try to make it like a nice continuation of those old movies, and maybe if we like it and we do well with it, we'll do another robbery movie sometime in maybe phase 3 if we ever get to that point. So not a whole lot to say about Saints and the Sinful, but it's just kind of there. Uh, yep. Space Adventures Season 2 is the next project up, and it's going to be a sequel to the Stupid movie, so it's basically going to show off where the characters end up after the events of the Stupid movie. So it's going to not the characters, but specifically the character of AJ and how that story kind of progresses past what we already know from the first season and what we see of him in the Stupid movie. So we kind of take both of those projects and we kind of put them together to fully flesh out like a complete continuation of the character in a second season. I do not know if Glitchy from Glitchway will return to voice AJ in the second season. Still, the project is kind of far from even really starting development. We just have some ideas down, but we've greenlit every project in this phase. There's a lot of projects that we wanted to include, but they just don't really work out the same with a lot of the other plans that we had, so we decided to scrap the majority of these projects and just put the bare essentials. So, Glitchy from Glitchwave may not be voicing AJ, depending on whether or not he wants to return. So yeah, it's just a continuation season, just a new follow up. Gonna have some new ideas, some returning characters and elements from the season 1, so it doesn't feel completely new, I guess. Just kind of a sort of fresh start. The second to last project that we wanted to talk about was Flyboy Unleashed. Flyboy is a character that we've tried to reboot several times after the Seeker Kings and kind of start over in a new universe, but we decided that bringing him back for the Stupid movie, we're just going to bring back the one from the Sigurd Kings universe, which is going to be kind of tricky in terms of what we're allowed to do, because if anybody has been keeping up with the drama over the past 2 or 3 years, 4 or 5 years, something like that, I don't know, been a really long time. We've had a lot of rights disputes over a lot of the characters, specifically regarding the Seaguar Kings. We had a lot of problems with Techo Productions over what we kind of can and can't do with the Seaguar Kings after we had briefly taken full creative control over the Seaguar Kings and then lost them again. But the only characters we were allowed to keep were the characters of Flyboy and Zach Clinton. So as of right now, Techo Productions still owns the Seaguar Kings, which is why a series or new installment, which I've really wanted to do, is kind of go back and make another season of the Seaguar Kings, because that was probably my biggest project and the project that I think I've had the most fun on throughout the entirety of Stupid was probably the Seaguar Kings, and I really, really want to go back and make some more episodes, but because of the rights dispute, we kind of can't make any more episodes. So because Stupid still kind of had a part in the series, we're going to take the Flyboy from that uh, from the Seeger Kings, and we're just going to bring him over into the Stoopy movie. And Flyboy Unleashed is going to be kind of cut off, I guess you could say, from the rest of the Seagard Kings, because we don't have a lot of room to talk about them because we don't own that anymore. Um, by copyright law, we have like brief distribution rights because we helped produce the original version. So that's about the most rights we have pertaining to the Seaguar Kings, which is why a new Seaguar Kings episode has not yet been created, but I'm hoping that in the future maybe something similar to that can be done, because I really, really would like to make another Seaguar Kings episode or installment. But Flyboy Unleashed is kind of going to be a closed off continuation of the Flyboy that we've seen. A lot of uh, he's going to be wearing like a costume, which is going to be weird for me because I've never actually had to design a costume before. I've done it kind of sort of one time. I puff painted a t-shirt for the Flyboy miniseries, which was a reboot that got canceled a long time ago. And it's, for some reason, the episode is like blocked in the majority of the countries for some reason. But yeah, I puff painted a t-shirt for the second episode, and then I never ended up actually using it on film. So that specific puff painted t-shirt I'm going to use in the Stoopy movie, and then I'm going to have to make an actual like costume for Flyaway Unleashed, which is gonna take some time and some effort, and I'm gonna have to learn how to make some cool shit. But yeah, so it's Flyboy from the Seaguar Kings, but really not a whole lot of relation to the Seaguar Kings. It's going to be its own contained story based off of the Flyboy comic, which is where Flyboy actually originated from. His first on-screen appearance was in the Seaguar Kings, but he was from a comic that I wrote, and there was no relation to the Seaguar Kings because the Seaguar Kings didn't exist yet. He was kind of just incorporated into that when the series was in development. Um, so yeah, it's kind of just gonna go back to Flyboy's roots and not really have too much relation to the Seaguar Kings, but kind of how I intended him when I came up with him before he was in the Seaguar Kings. Although having another Seaguar Kings-esque type series would be really fun to do that. So yeah, and that's it for. Wait, shit. I think I. Oh fuck. Where's Sorry, I'm in my office right now. I think I just. Oh shit. There's one more project that I completely forgot. The Stoopy sequel. So yeah, the Stoopy sequel is going to kind of end off phase two, and since we started with an event film, I felt like it would be kind of fun to end the phase with the event film to kind of set up the next set of phases. So that might be the kind of basis for each new phase, is that we'll start either with an event film or we'll end with one. Obviously for phase two or phase three, if we do one, it's not going to start with an event film because we just had one, but it might end with one. So more likely every phase will end with an event film. But the Stubby sequel is basically just going to be, we're revisiting a lot of the ideas from the first Stoopy movie. We're going to put all of the characters kind of back together again for another kind of a fun, I don't know, I'm still kind of thinking about what it could be. But kind of just a combination of just like, we're gonna show all these characters in this movie and then have them kind of go off and then do their own things for a little bit, and then we're going to bring them back for the Stupid sequel and have a story, and then we're going to do something there that's kind of going to set off a new curve for phase three, if we do phase three. but that kind of curve is going to follow until we have another big event film of some sort into phase 4, phase 5, phase 6. I need fucking like coffee or some shit. Um, we're going to just continue these projects, and yeah, so the Stubby sequel is going to be an event film closer, bringing back all the same characters, most of the same, depending on how well we do with them, and if because still I haven't actually written any of these projects except for the Stoopy movie. Stoopy movie is the only project that I've written. I just have brief ideas for the rest of these projects that I feel like I could go pretty solid on, but depending on how they perform and how much I like making them, that could heavily impact the future of the Stoopy sequel and how those specific characters are incorporated, or whether or not it all just kind of depends on how I write the projects before that. That kind of impacts how I write the Stoopy sequel itself, because it's very reliant on the endings and the plot points and certain things introduced within these other projects for continuity purposes. So, um, this video is 18 minutes long. I've been talking for 18 fucking minutes. I think I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I think I'm gonna go back to bed. But this has been the 2026 Stupid Direct, probably our Stupid Direct with the most promise. Because we're not just making things up willy-nilly, we're actually like going to make these things now. We have like a final slate with a lot of projects. As the year comes to a close, the phase might not even be over by the end of 2026, so the 2027 direct might have a lot of just like updates on the rest of the films in the phase, but as of right now where it stands, we don't have much we don't really have much to show off, because we've done is write the Stoopy movie. But we're going to begin filming very, very, very soon. The trailer for the Stoopy movie probably won't, the second trailer won't come out, most likely until the film is either finished or half done being finished. A lot of the casting for the film has been done. I've been using Casting Call Club, which is a website, and that's been very, very useful. I got a lot more attention for the project on that website than I had anticipated. I only listed about 3 or 4 characters, but I ended up getting 9 submissions for the different characters that I have listed on there. So, yeah, so if anybody's seeing this and wants to be a part of these, the best place to go is the Casting Call Club if you want to be involved within these. So yeah. Uh we've been working hard. Stoopy movie is the biggest project that I have ever worked on since probably the Cigarette Kings. Um, and I'm really excited to kind of get this and make this and revisit the past and show off what we could do in the future. And then I'm excited with the things that I learned from my biggest project to, I'm hoping that every project after this will hopefully be a bigger project for me, that I'm doing better and better and improving the quality of my projects with every next project. But those are just my hopes. I think there's a fire truck outside. I think it means that I have to go to the bathroom. So yeah, that's been the direct. I'll smell you guys later. Happy New Year, and peace out.